Hey everybody, we're back in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. We're not really sure how many years we've been here. We know for sure, documented, this is our third time.
Third year, yeah.
But we kind of think that there was maybe another time before that we came up here before the HopCast existed or something like that.
Right, we checked it out and then fountain year started
But nonetheless, we are back here in Racine at the Great Lakes Brewfest.
Right, I'm Brad Chmielewski, in case you didn't know.
And my name is Ken Hunemeter. Great event, one that obviously we like to come back to every year. A number of beers from all across the country, really, but a lot of like Wisconsin stuff that we can't normally get our hands on.
Right. Right now I'm drinking the Upland Oktoberfest, which we can't get Upland in Illinois.
Right.
So
they're located out of Indiana.
Yeah.
And I went Wisconsin right away. I'm drinking a Tiernina Painted Ladies Pumpkin Spice Ale, which we drank recently on the show, but I had aged it accidentally. This one, drinking much better, as I promised. If you get it fresh, don't age it, drink it right away, because it's really tasty stuff.
Yeah, but we're going to be wandering around, maybe we'll talk to some people, and we're going to be drinking.
All right.
Well, it's only like 45 minutes into the fest, and we're already a little sour.
I've grown sour on this whole thing. Yeah, we ventured over and saw that Jolly Pumpkin was here as per usual, and could not pass up the opportunity to drink their beer, even though we've had it plenty of times before.
Oh, yeah.
And for you,
I'm sipping on the BAM Farmhouse Ale.
Yeah, which is the kind of original of that series.
Right.
They have a bunch of different BAMs, which we'll go into, but. I have one of the variations that they offered with this was with their Weissen BAM. Essentially, it's taking the BAM saison and finishing it off kind of with a Hefeweizen yeast strain. And if you're not familiar with Jolly Pumpkin, all of these beers are spontaneous. Fermented with wild yeast strains, and they're all barrel aged. So
yeah.
It's one of those things that
I find it really interesting how clear that one is for.
I thought that was interesting too, because yours is much more cloudy than the Weissen strain, which
they're all like unfiltered beers, right? They're all active in the bottle.
I don't know if they're filtered, but I know that they are bottle conditioned.
Okay.
That one certainly looks like it's not. This one might be, but I'm not quite sure on that. But
and then they have two more in the series also?
Yeah, in that series they have an ESB, which they call ES BAM, and they also had a black saison called the BAM Noir.
Wow. Okay.
So, but what do this is the original here.
Right, and I'm getting kind of like a pear tartness to it.
Yeah, and with the Weissen BAM, it's not, you're not really getting that kind of like clovey banana thing that you would expect. It's more of like a green apple, like a tart apple.
Yeah, and it's really awesome. Like my sour level has evolved so much. Like last year, I was like, all right, I'll try them, and now it's like, oh, these aren't that sour. What else you got? Like, come on.
Yeah, so it was funny to see his reaction the first time he took a sip. He's like, man, I don't even find these that sour anymore. So yeah, it's just one of those things that the more you drink them, maybe you be accustomed to it, not like them at first, but you may come around. So keep drinking. I mean,
and you know what? I think we're gonna do that too.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're gonna venture away from Dexter, Michigan, and see where we end up next.
Well, keeping with our S theme, we've moved on to stouts.
Yeah, we have. I'm having a beer from a brewery that I've never even heard of before called Hinterland, and they're out of Green Bay,
Wisconsin.
Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of that football team up there.
Yeah.
And this is their Luna Coffee Stout. It's got a great coffee nose, and it's more of like a drinkable, like real kind of like a more, as far as stouts goes, like a light-bodied drinkable.
But had a nice roast, burnt roastness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the flavor is really well balanced and nice. They did a nice job on this beer for sure.
But I have what's already been our favorite is from Central Waters, their Bourbon Barrel Stout.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, this one kind of. I mean, someone told us about it, so we
Vanessa, shout out. She described it as a 9% Bourbon County.
Exactly. It's just like a more drinkable version County, but it still has kind of all that really nice characteristic that you'd like out of a bourbon barrel-aged stout.
Yeah. So
and it
has the flavor without the burn, I think.
Right, and it's also a lot lighter, like even in color, and not as thick. So I mean, you could drink more of it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but quite a delicious beer. Yeah, I would say by far it's my best in show thus far.
Right.
I mean, the thing just started, so it's early, but that's the best beer I've had.
We've been drinking quite a few, so this is already our standout. Yeah.
Yeah, luckily, thanks to Kurt Beerlander, we got media passes, and we got in like a couple hours earlier than everybody else. We thought the fest was open. We're like, wow, this is so relaxed.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, 3 o'clock hit, and everyone starts going.
Like, oh man, I was sipping on my little drink.
So now we're gonna have to fight the crowds, but that's okay. We got a couple hours in rather.
Maybe we just flash our staff. Coming through, staff needs beer.
But always a great time as usual.
Oh, I forgot to mention,
Great Lakes.
the Central Waters guy said you can probably look for this bourbon barrel stout in December in bottles. So
Yeah, that'd be a great beer to drink in December. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that one. And it sounds like Central Water's doing a lot of other stuff that's great too. And keep an eye out for the upcoming Hinterland. So let's go drink some more beer.
all right, we're here with the man of the hour.
The man, Mr. Kurt. You can follow him on Twitter at Beerlander, and the organizer of this whole event. And you've been doing this for how many years now?
This is the 7th year.
7th year, and this is obviously the biggest one. You spilled over into a second day.
Right.
What's been keeping this moving?
Well, it's kind of a combination of things. I'm not a home brewer. I'm just an enthusiast, like a lot of the people here. We've been very fortunate that we were in a market that was very underserved for beer events when we started this in 2004. I had festival management experience. I love craft beer. I loved where it was going and the people, and I took the idea of the Kilties Drum and Bugle Corps, and they bought into it.
That's
so
great.
We've been very, very fortunate.
How can I bring the beer to me?
Well, y'all got to be good at one thing, and I guess I'm pretty good at throwing parties. So.
And a good party it is, as you can hear, because usually when you hear something like that here at the Great Lakes Beer Fest, it means someone dropped their glass.
Yeah, somebody dropped their pint glass. Yeah, it's kind of a tradition here.
Yeah. So, as if they didn't feel worse already, you just go ahead and nail them.
Everyone's going to give them a hard time. Yep. Yeah.
And that's what's so fun about it. Everyone's so nice over here at this event. It's fun to get out here and like see all the different things, because you get a lot of people doing kind of like more of the unique beers,
right?
Which it sets you guys apart from other Brewfests. I don't know how you convince them to do it, but you get a lot of interesting offerings from interesting breweries.
Well, the convincing comes from the customers, the attendees. We got a real hardcore following. We encourage them to write and call their brewers that they like, and tell them to get here, and tell them to bring special stuff. And that takes care of itself. But we got to deliver on taking care of the promise we make to the customers, and that's about a great, safe environment, great brewers, getting the brewmasters here when we can, and we got a great environment. This facility on the lake in Racine is, if you've been to other events, you know this is a really it's like perfectly made for this type of an event.
It really, I mean, there's plenty of space to roam around, do whatever you got to do.
Right.
Pass out in the grass.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that we keep trying to find more spots to kind of push the booths into, so we got more space. But to me, the creme de la creme of this event, beyond the beer, is the performance by the Kilties Drum and Bugle Corps. They've been around for 70 years. They put on a performance here for 20 minutes. It's a static performance. It just brings chills to people, and no other drum corps is doing that in terms of a beer event. So they're happy to do it, but they're a 110 member corps, and they also provide all the volunteers. We provide all the volunteers for the fest. So for about an hour, man, they're out of commission, and it's a little nerve-wracking. Okay, how are we going to get all this done?
At the same time, everyone's attentively focused on them anyways. So
yes,
it's okay.
It is. It's kind of a, and then we got a half an hour and the event closes after that. So.
Well, it's an event that we come to every year.
I know
We've
you
been
do.
doing it for a number of years now. We love it because the beer is fantastic. It's interesting and it's very well run. and it's
Thank you.
local.
Thank you.
We encourage everyone out there to come out to these every year. So stop on by Racine every year, right about this time.
Great beer, good cheer.
Exactly.
We're off to have some more fun.
Thanks, man.
I gotta wait till I'm off duty.
I make you look short.
Well, I know I've been having a good time,
I've been having a good time.
and this guy,
Zang!
great time.
Yeah, we're about ready to wrap this thing up here at the Great Lakes Brewfest. But Timmy, on the other hand, his goal today is to hit every single station at least once.
Minimum once, right?
Minimum once. I'll probably go back to the Homebrew Island,
Okay.
make a second round through there at least.
I know you've been hitting Terranina a lot.
I hit it once.
But
I've been there several times, in the past when it's
hanging
not
out.
at the fest,
Oh, okay.
buying the 6-packs.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, Timmy, most of you don't know, is a great friend of mine from like way back in the day. He's been supplying me with beer since as far back as I can remember. So it's nice to have you on the show, Timmy. And I always see you here. This is probably the one time a year I actually do see you.
Pretty much.
Always at the
Pretty
Racine
much.
Beer Fest. And what keeps you coming back to this place?
I have this thing where I like beer.
All right.
I know it's weird. Not many people are into that.
Dude,
especially people on this, watching this podcast. Usually they're like, ew, beer gross.
Guys, I don't know.
Well, we wish you luck in your endeavor.
Yeah.
And I hope you make it to every single tent. And thank you so much.
Us, on the other hand, I think we're wrapping things up.
We're about
Yeah.
tapped out. We got to head back
Yeah,
to
well,
Chicago. at some
like I
point.
said, Photog Fluffer next year. Cheers, boys.
All right.
Thanks for watching the HopCast.